Hey guys, how are we doing? Crypto Insight UK bringing you back another video. We're going to quickly touch on the DXY and just looking at the dollar basically and the Japanese yen. And then we're going to move on to Bitcoin dominance specifically. And is it time for altcoins? We're going to look at Bitcoin dominance. We're going to look at USDT dominance, and we're going to look at XRP dominance and XRP versus Bitcoin. As again, Bitcoin is not doing too much today, but XRP is again holding the areas that we've been holding after the little bounce from the bottom. So first off, looking at the DXY, this is what I always thought was happening with the DXY, that we've been inside this range, we've had deviations to the highs and the lows, and if you're a trader, you do short the top of the range. Another thing that I've been discussing recently is as you touch the top of the range and you create lower highs, so there, a high low, so a high low here, it's more likely you're going to break out of that range. One of the reasons that I don't think this is going to happen, although nothing is really happening as of now, is the Japanese yen. The Japanese yen is just absolutely getting smashed against the dollar. This line here, as I said, was 30-year resistance, and we just keep continuing higher and higher. There was discussion that the reason they didn't intervene again like they did here is because it only took 2 weeks for the yen price to lose all the value they basically pumped back into the market by intervening. That's the Ministry of Finance in Japan. So they're basically fighting a losing battle. Andreas Stoner Larsen, if you know who he is, he talked about today that maybe the pairing you need to be watching is the JPY versus CNH, so like the Japanese yen versus the Chinese yuan, as that's more important as they're both exporters rather than the fact of the CNH or the JPY against the dollar. Maybe watch the exporters depreciation. I personally believe the US and Japan are having some sort of talks behind closed doors. We've already seen the pressure on Japanese commercial banks about needing to sell bonds for liquidity. I think there's something going on behind closed doors. That's just my own personal speculation. Could be wrong. But as I've said, like whenever we have any sort of problem at the minute, historically we've just been printing money. There is still one like key resistance level here, which is at 164. Could something come in there to change the market specifically? I don't know. But at the minute, the DXY is looking pretty strong. It's massively, one of its big pairings is against the JPY and the other one is against the euro. I think euro is like 50% of the basket. So I'm not going to touch on the euro because I want to just get into the Bitcoin dominance specifically because I don't want this video to go on for too long. So what I was talking about to start with was that Bitcoin wasn't looking that strong today. Bitcoin's down 0.41%, and in terms of a technical structure, it's not bad. We're holding the top of the previous range in that area that I wanted us to break out of and break above, holding that. But then remember, this was the range that I was saying yesterday I wanted us to get above 64,500. I was saying we need to get 62,500 first. We've got that. We're now sitting back on top of that 62,500 sort of range, and we're looking to continue higher. But during this time, XRP is actually finding a little bit of strength. Like obviously we're not screaming about it, guys. We have broken recent highs on the last push, and then we've formed a higher low, and then we're looking to again break that high again to confirm like an uptrend for XRP. But this is happening at a time when both ETH and Bitcoin are not finding strength. So let's have a look at the XRP versus Bitcoin. I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. This is that range that I was telling you about, guys. We're hitting that resistance. We came down. We're holding that range again. And again, we're testing the same sort of levels. I know, again, that this isn't like a breakout pattern. It's not yet. But it is interesting to see that previously XRP basically just trends straight down against Bitcoin. And during this recent time of weakness for crypto in general or Bitcoin, right at the absolute lows basically for XRP against Bitcoin. Yes, we did wick below before, but almost right at the absolute lows against Bitcoin, XRP is starting to hold a little bit of strength, which is very interesting to me. Again, similar with XRP against ETH, we found our absolute lows again with XRP against ETH, and we're starting to create some sort of potential bottoming structure here, where we're not actually creating lower lows, we're just holding some sort of bottoming range. I'm going to move over to the Bitcoin dominance chart like I said I was going to now. because it's, again, an interesting pattern. When I've talked about this a few times before, we can say that there's a parallel channel here, or that you can, some people call, like, draw like a wedge pattern in here, which you can see if you just go something like this. That's just very freehand, that wedge pattern there. You can fall out the bottom of that. Again, I think this is a broadening. I think this is a parallel channel, ascending parallel channel, which is a reversal pattern. Finding the resistance at this level here, which is a 55% to 55.3% level, and potentially going to be reversing from here. I think the structure is very similar to what we saw for USDT dominance before that started to break down. And I was talking about that back when this happened. Sorry, my voice is still gone. Very similar structure, guys, to USDT's breakdown. We found that resistance, we bashed against it, we broke just above it, couldn't really do anything, fell below. And now we're holding that resistance again. I would suggest this is a continuation pattern here for USDT. This is on a daily time frame. Just waiting for this pattern to break down here. Descending triangle, you come into the triangle, boom, and continue on that push down there. And I'll show you again, let's have a look at this pattern, try and remember this now, and we'll go and have a look again at the Bitcoin dominance pattern. They're very similar look in terms of you're finding that resistance here, you break above, you come back below, and now we're kind of falling back below that pattern again. And I would like to see us fall down. We've bounced off the bottom of the parallel channels. I said if you're a trader, you long support and you short resistance. Well, you're stuck between support and resistance now. You're at the support of the bottom of the parallel channel, but you're at the resistance level that we're talking about. I'd like to see us, as I said, lose that if you want to see some aggressive price action for altcoins. And with XRP doing what it's doing, I actually think you are about to see something for XRP. We're going to look at XRP dominance as well, XRP.D if you want to find that chart for yourself. And you're going to see that XRP is at the lowest point basically it's ever been in terms of dominance. Exactly where we were in the 2017 cycle before a run, just before we see the potential issues with Tether, the MiCA regulations coming in around stablecoins, Ripple launching their stablecoin. We've got a potential decision coming from Judge Torres about the Ripple case finishing. That's going to be the end of that Ripple case so long as the SEC don't appeal. So potential catalyst here coming for XRP while it's at its all-time low in terms of dominance. Like we've seen XRP get up to like 20% odd dominance, 23% dominance. Looking at the absolute highs where we wick to is a 31% dominance. But if we just look at basically the top of the range, a 21% dominance, guys, that's like a 18x from here, 17x from here. That's the sort of move that could be coming for XRP if we repeat history. And that's literally as simple as it is. A lot of people say it's a shit coin and it has been hard to hold, and I get it. And this is nothing confirmed yet, guys, as I've talked about this before as well. Like, we've got to start to see these breaks, these key levels. We keep flirting with them, but we haven't broken out of any particular structure yet. We've broken this, well, I was going to say recent downtrend, but it's actually since November of 23. We've broken above that. We're starting to form some potential bottoming structure, like I've said, against Bitcoin and against ETH. But I'm showing you, and I've just shown you there, guys, that this could be the time when XRP could do something. We've got the catalyst in the woodworks. We've got the bottoming structure starting to potentially play out. We need to see some big price action here. And to confirm what I might be thinking is fact. I'd love to see a breakup of this level for XRP against Bitcoin, and a further breakup of that level as well. Here we can see 0.00009 or 787 are the two key levels that I'm looking at here. And against ETH, a close above this line. I posted these over on X before, so if you want me to post them again, I can, if you want to just reference them more often. But yeah, that's basically what I'm looking at, guys. A big change in sentiment will be when XRP breaks above this box up here. Against ETH, it's 0.00018 sort of, or 19 level really, to get that close, because there's a lot of resistance in there. But if we break above that level, guys, sentiment's going to start changing. People are going to start opening their eyes to XRP, and you'll see bullish sentiment return to the timeline, in my opinion, and that's when you can start to get bullish. If you look at it on the larger time frames, like the weekly's starting to look decent against ETH. It's starting to look decent against Bitcoin coming out, the RSI coming out of the oversold area. Just looking to get these closes, a little bit more price action, positive price action. But again, today, at the minute, it's 1.58% up against Bitcoin. Nothing's confirmed, but you've got to keep your eyes on this, in my opinion. Especially if you're an XRP holder, this is what I'd have my eyes glued to. Hope you enjoyed that, guys. If there's anything you want me to cover, let me know in the comments. If you don't subscribe already, please subscribe. Peace up, 8 times down, this will take. Also, share this with a friend if you have any.